My 2024 NFL Mock Draft 4.1, post-free agency frenzy, the latest projections. Caleb Williams, is he going to be a Chicago Bear? Are the Vikings going to actually trade up for a quarterback? Will the Raiders potentially trade up for the quarterback? What about the Denver Broncos? What are they even going to do at quarterback? Do they even have a quarterback? I don't even know who's on the roster at quarterback off the top of my head for the Denver Broncos. I don't know what Sean Payton is even thinking at this point, or if he even believes that he has a shot to even remain the head coach of the Denver Broncos for much longer, especially if he doesn't actually get a quarterback. I'm going to cover the top 10 picks in my Mock Draft 4.1, which you can find the full 32 picks in written form on our website, footballscout365.com. I'm going to talk about that and a little bit more right here on Football Scout 365. Now, before we get started with this mock draft, I want to remind you to check out our website, footballscout365.com, where you can find all of our NFL draft player rankings, our NFL draft big board, our top 100 player rankings with full profiles, including scheme fit, final analysis, player comparison, and so much more. You can find all of that and more on our website, footballscout365.com. Now, in the past mock drafts that I've done, it's been the Chicago Bears consistently as the centerpiece, but now it's becoming the Minnesota Vikings, who appear to be a team willing to go all in on a quarterback. The specific quarterback, though, it's going to depend on the source that you're hearing it from. Is it going to be McCarthy or is it Maye? I really do believe that we're going to see 4 quarterbacks drafted in the first 5 picks of the NFL draft. I think that we could see upwards of 6 quarterbacks in the first round of the 2024 NFL draft. Now, in my mock draft 4.1, that is the case. 2 other notable teams that need a quarterback, the Las Vegas Raiders and the Denver Broncos. In past mock drafts, I've had the Raiders taking Michael Penix Jr. I still believe Michael Penix Jr. is a mid-first round pick due to his talent and not just QB need from QB needy teams out there. We've only recently started drafting 5 quarterbacks in the first round, but the Broncos not making any kind of a move in free agency to get a quarterback after parting with Russell Wilson could drive Bo Nix's NFL draft stock much higher than the round 2 that I currently have on him. Now, in this mock draft, 2 teams are going to make a significant move to procure a quarterback. One top 5 team is going to move back and still gets a quarterback, while another team reaches for a quarterback way too early because they really do not have any other options out there. In this mock draft, I've got 6 quarterbacks going. I've got 6 wide receivers. I've got 8 offensive tackles in a very deep offensive tackle class. The top offensive tackles are going to go quick, in my opinion, within the first 2 rounds. So waiting on an offensive tackle, especially in the first round, if you need one, the first round is where you want to try to get one of the top players in that regard. The defensive backs that are out there at the cornerback position, for example, I've got 5 going in round 1. Edge rusher, pretty deep and talented class. Any other year, you're going to see at least 2 or 3 of these guys potentially going in the top 10 or even 15 picks of the draft. I've only got like 1 guy going in the top 15 picks as an edge rusher in this particular draft class, which is absolutely insane. So once again, very deep and talented NFL draft class. I've went over this numerous times in previous mock drafts. So let's hop into this. Let's start with the number 1 overall pick. We've got the Chicago Bears. They are going to select Caleb Williams out of USC. The Bears, they finally traded Justin Fields. They sent him to the Steelers for a 6th round pick, as we already know. The Bears, they look like they are ready to move into a different era at the quarterback position. Now, with the number 2 overall pick in the 2024 NFL draft, I've got the Washington Commanders. They're going to select McCarthy out of Michigan ahead of Maye or Jayden Daniels. There is a lot of smoke out there that McCarthy could in fact be the Washington Commanders' number 1 target at the quarterback position at this point in time. I think it's a perfect fit stylistically for Cliff Kingsbury at the quarterback position. I think outside of Jayden Daniels, stylistically, I think McCarthy could be a great fit with Cliff Kingsbury. Now, I've never really wished Cliff Kingsbury as a head coach or an offensive mind on any of these players, but at the end of the day, if it's going to be anybody, I do think McCarthy or Jayden Daniels make the most sense at number 2 overall to the Washington Commanders. Now, with the number 3 overall pick, we have a trade. The Minnesota Vikings are going to trade up to the number 3 overall pick. They're going to take that number 11 pick. They're going to package it with that number 23 overall pick. They're going to send that to the New England Patriots. and they're going to move up, get Drake Maye, quarterback out of UNC. They might have to throw in an additional 2025 first-round pick, maybe a second or third rounder, however they want to package it together to get to the number 3 overall pick. I think if it's for Drake Maye, they'd probably be willing to do that, given the ceiling potential of Drake Maye being somebody who could be a potential Josh Allen style player for the Minnesota Vikings. Now with the number 4 overall pick, the Arizona Cardinals, this has been pretty chalk the entire time, especially for me in mock drafts, and that's going to be Marvin Harrison Jr., the wide receiver out of Ohio State. They could have moved back out of this spot. I'm sure another team would have likely wanted to move up into this spot. Maybe they can do that and move back a few spots, but instead they're going to go with a generational wide receiver talent. And I think this is the perfect match for the Arizona Cardinals offensively. Now with the number 5 overall pick, the LA Chargers, they have the opportunity to potentially trade out of this spot, gain additional draft capital. A lot of people believe that they'll take a tackle potentially at number 5 overall. I think that trading back from number 5 overall makes more sense, maybe with the Las Vegas Raiders, the Minnesota Vikings, if things kind of fall in that kind of way with the quarterbacks. They have the opportunity to trade back, gain additional draft capital that's much needed. Drafting a tackle like Talise Fuaga at like pick number 11 overall if he falls out, or any of the top guys. Olu Fashanu could also fall out of the top 10 based on all of the offensive talent that is projected to go in the top 10. There's a lot of excellent, talented players that are going to fall back, especially offensive linemen. I think that that would be a huge option. But in my mock draft 4.1, we're going to go with Rome Odunze, the wide receiver out of Washington. We're going to help Justin Herbert out for once. We're going to do the right thing in a lot of people's eyes out there. We're going to draft the most talented wide receiver, in my opinion, outside of Marvin Harrison Jr. Now, with the number 6 overall, we have another trade. We've got the Las Vegas Raiders, another QB needy team, trading up with the New York Giants. Now, a lot of people believe the Giants are in the market for a quarterback, but I'm going to assume maybe they're in the market for a Drake Maye, maybe a JJ McCarthy, not necessarily Jayden Daniels. Maybe they are interested in Jayden Daniels at the end of the day, but if it falls this way, I have a sneaky suspicion that they could be a team willing to trade back to gain additional draft capital for themselves to continue to build and add pieces that are desperately needed. The Giants need a lot. The Raiders also need a lot, but they're trading up. They're going to go after Jayden Daniels in this spot. I think it's a perfect opportunity for the Raiders. You trade what you can to get the guy you need. You put Antonio Pierce in a better position as a new head coach. Now with the number 7 overall pick, the Tennessee Titans, it's their dream. They get the guy they want. They get left tackle Joe Alt out of Notre Dame. I believe this is a Hall of Fame, future Hall of Fame level player, a 10-year offensive tackle that will play in Tennessee for a long time. Joe Alt is their guy. I think that he's been mocked to the Titans more times than any other player that I've seen outside of Marvin Harrison Jr. going to the Arizona Cardinals or Caleb Williams becoming a Chicago Bear. This has been one of the more consistent players or consensus players that I've seen mocked. That is Joe Alt going to the Tennessee Titans at pick number 7 overall. And now with the number 8 pick, we've got the Atlanta Falcons. They're going to go with a defensive back, my top defensive back in the 2024 NFL draft class, and that's Quinyon Mitchell, the corner out of Toledo. This dude is an excellent cover corner. He's really good at playing off-man coverage and zone coverage. He's physical enough to get up in your middle, and he can play press man coverage as well. He's a versatile player. You can kind of line him up wherever you want to. He's a ball hawk at the same time. You're getting a high IQ defensive back at the end of the day. I think that this would be an excellent upgrade on the defensive side of the football for the Atlanta Falcons. Now, pick number 9 overall, the Chicago Bears. We're not going to go with Malik Neighbors at wide receiver, who is still on the board. And I know a lot of people are going to think I'm crazy. The Chicago Bears, they're going to choose Talise Fuaga, the offensive tackle out of Oregon State, an undeniably talented player, a guy who has positional versatility, as I already mentioned, a guy that I've drafted in other mock drafts to the LA Chargers when they've traded out of that 5th overall pick back to number 11 with the Minnesota Vikings, for example. But Fuaga, he's a guy that you can plug in at right tackle. You can have Darnell Wright play left tackle. You can put Talise Fuaga at left guard if you wanted to, and just run behind them all game long to really set things up for Caleb Williams in the play action pass game and really protect your number 1 asset. That's what you need to do at the end of the day. You've already got Keenan Allen at wide receiver. You've already got DJ Moore at wide receiver. And this is a deep wide receiver class. I know the Bears, could trade out of this spot as well to gain additional draft capital. There's a high possibility that they may do that. I think they only have like 4 picks in this draft class overall. So we'll kind of see how it plays out, but this is where I see them going, or the direction that I believe they should go at the end of the day. Now, number 10 overall, we've got the New York Jets. In previous mock drafts, I've had them taking an offensive tackle, but they've already shored up that offensive line through free agency. But Malik Neighbors is available. So we're going with wide receiver Malik Neighbors out of LSU to pair with Garrett Wilson and quarterback Aaron Rodgers. This could not be a better scenario, I think, for the New York Jets. Now, generally, I only cover the top 10 picks in the video format of my mock drafts, and then I'll direct you to the full 32 picks on the website. But in this case, I want to throw out there the New England Patriots, who traded back from number 3 overall to number 11 with Minnesota Vikings. I have them taking Michael Penix Jr. at quarterback. I think this would be a tremendous opportunity to get a guy that you can plug and play right away as a rookie. And then at pick 23 overall, you can draft a receiver to pair with him and kind of see how things play out. And then maybe you gain an additional first or second round pick in the 2025 NFL draft. Maybe you do get that extra first round pick for 2025. And that would give you the opportunity to take another swing at a quarterback if Michael Penix Jr. does not work out for you. I think this would be a huge move for the Patriots, or any team for that matter, willing to trade into this spot. Okay, that's going to do it for the mock draft 4.1. Those are the first 10 picks. That bonus pick I threw in there, number 11 overall for the New England Patriots. Let me know what you think about the Patriots trading out of the number 3 overall spot. Let me know what you think about JJ McCarthy potentially going number 2 overall to the Washington Commanders. Also, let me know what you think about the Raiders trading up to the number 5 or number 6 pick of the 2024 NFL draft. Does that make sense if a quarterback falls into that spot? Should the Raiders make that move? Again, I want to say thank you for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, tell somebody about us, and please stay tuned for more great NFL draft content.